What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Timbo, owner of the LA Rams and the Grid League. Just want to do kind of like a some of the season, um, review up to this point. We are at the end, towards the end of week 7, um, and as you can see, my Rams are 7-0. Been a pretty good season so far. Uh, wouldn't say the schedule has been the toughest, but you know, as the saying goes, you play who's in front of you. So, just trying to keep the train moving. There's been some good pieces on my team that I previewed before the season that actually have come to play and help me out in key spots throughout the year. So, just want to go through a little bit of how they've been playing so far. Um, it always starts, at the beginning with the quarterback, Jared Goff, who's had a little bit of an up and down year. Um, he's got 13 interceptions, as long as 13. Excuse me, say that over. He's got 13 touchdowns to go along with 13 picks. Um, so it's hit or miss with Jared Goff. A lot of that came, I say almost half of those picks came in one game. Um, won't say why that happened, but it wasn't the best game for me. But overall, I will say he's had a good season though. It's just his certain traits that he has and certain attributes have caused me to try to dial back the game plan for him. But with the art talent that he has, I do have to feel like I have to thread the needle from time to time, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But he's keeping things together, and it's we're just gonna keep progressing. I'll just put it like that. We're just gonna keep progressing. But as you see, he's gone up about 4 overall points in 7 games. He was at 78 before the season. Right now he's at 82. So that's definitely a plus for the squad. Uh, Todd Gurley, you know, need I say more? Todd Gurley, he's been steady all year. He's got a touchdown in every game, whether it be rushing or receiving. Right now he's got 7 TDs on the ground. With a little over 450 yards, averaging 5.3 carry. And he's definitely done some things receiving as well, with 2 TDs out of the backfield. So whether it be some screens or kind of sending them out wide and empty sets, he's definitely been an all-purpose back for me this year. But definitely leading the way, running the ball. Uh, a surprise, and I kind of said before the season he would be an X factor, but he's definitely handling that to this point. And this is my rookie running back, 3rd round pick out of Delaware State. This is Eric DeBose. Um, he, I pick and choose when I use him, because I just his carrying is very skeptical. It's only 72, so I don't want him in as much. Of course, I got Gurley, so there's not really too much to need him back there. But um, he's had some big plays for me so far this year. I've used him in Wildcat. I've used him in reverses. I've used him, kind of like a little scat back, or kind of I've even sent them out wide when Gurley needed a blow. So but as you see when he comes in, he does what he's averaging 5.5 yards a carry on the 15 carries that he's had. He does have 2 touchdowns, and he has a receiving touchdown. So he almost has as many receiving yards. Actually, I think he has a little bit more, maybe a yard more receiving than Todd Gurley has. In the last game, especially he had a 75-yard screen pass that he took to the crib to kind of open up the game against the Vikings. So, definitely happy to have him. His speed is definitely a good change of pace, just raw acceleration. So, definitely want to continue to, have packages for him that I want to use in certain parts of the game. Receiving wise, this is something I really wanted to highlight. Um, if you all in the grid, if you all saw who I had wrote an article on Paul Richardson, this one here, he was kind of the forgotten man in free agency. He went he didn't sign, I don't think, until the third stage. But I got him, for relatively cheap, 3 years, 14 mil. Um, and he has been a revelation over at the second wide receiver spot. He's almost playing like a first receiver, honestly, with his 24 catches for a little over 520 yards, averaging about 21 a carry. I'm sorry, 21 a catch, with 3 TDs. Excuse the noise, I do live in the city, so. But he's definitely, it's been the speed, his ability to come out of routes fast, to take the top off the defense. I mean, no matter where I send him, slant, in route, dig route, post, come back. I mean, more times than not, he's open, which can be a little tricky because you try not to, over target one receiver. But he's definitely been holding it down on the outside, where we expected Davante Adams to, and he's still getting himself together. But Paul Richardson has definitely been a key part to this offense this year, and I believe he's in the top 3 or top 10 in receiving. Excuse me. Davante Adams, the big money free agent signing that was acquired this year. It's been a slow start based on the stats. He did have a game where he had 2 TDs and about 8 catches, close to 100 yards early in the year against the Cardinals. So the production has been, kind of a grind, but he's still a key part to this offense. And especially with the money that I paid him, we're going to make sure that he gets those targets and he makes it count. The drops have always been something that's been, an issue with his career. We knew that coming in. So we want to make sure there's routes where he's just not going to be in too much of a crowd. And we got to use that big body to go up and get, the one-on-one 50-50 balls. So it's been touch and go, but we're definitely expecting a lot from him in the second half of the year. You see the 2 TDs I spoke about and close to 300 yards, so it's not too bad. We have a balanced offense here, so we try to make sure he still gets those targets. Will Tye has been a big addition to the passing game. This is his second year in LA, but last year was plagued by injury, and this year he's gotten off to a great start. Last game he actually had 2 TD passes, 2 TD catches, and being able to different routes, whether it be drags, out routes, slants, blocking. His blocking has been very much appreciated, and his run after catch average has been very important to us as well. For a tight end with his build and still to have the speed to after catching the ball to make moves has been very important. Excuse me, to the success of the offense. And sometimes he's the second or third option at best. So for him to still have these type of stats is a big plus for us. Offensive line altogether has been pretty steady. Goff has taken some sacks. Goff has also thrown some interceptions due to maybe having to get rid of it a little bit earlier, anticipating the rush from the defense. But overall, they're holding together. The rookie right guard, Pakulak, he's been pretty good, especially in the run game. He's been able to get to the second level a lot against these defenses that we faced so far. And, we want to just continue to run the ball, pound the ball as we can. I do like to pass. I am a passer by trade. But the run game and, me having Gurley and trying to build up this O-line, we definitely need to continue to run the ball. And running behind the right guard here with this 86 run blocking that's continuing to improve will definitely be a key. But yeah, overall, everyone's been good on the O-line. So I'm really proud of the offense. Even pieces like Tavon Austin, who's had to take a step back a little bit with the new additions to the receiving core and really just move into his slot role. But he's made a couple plays. He's had a few key third down receptions this season that have kept some drives alive that we needed. He's always one play away from taking it to the crib. He did have a 109-yard missed field goal return earlier in the year against the Lions. That kind of changed the game right before halftime. So I did want to spotlight that on Tavon. So trust me, he's still a vital member of this offense. Moving on to the defense. The defense, as I said before the season, is the heart and soul of this team. What we lack in overall talent, and especially in certain positions, we make up for with effort. These guys go to the ball. A lot of my starters have the high motor trait on defense, which if you do know it, it signifies that they're going to play hard on every play no matter what, and that's one trait that I really like to hone in on when I am in control of a team. No matter what position on defense you play, you got to have a high motor, because I really don't like to have my players taking plays off. I mean, we're going to give up yards, we may give up a score here and there, but as long as we're around the ball and in the area of making a play, I'm more than comfortable with that. So I do want to start up front. Aaron Donald, who's in the top, one of the top sack leaders in the league. He has about 5 on the year so far. Just a beast, as you all may know. He's just a beast up front. Aaron Donald's pretty much self-explanatory right now, especially with his rating. You can see that there. He does have some XP I could spend on him too, so I'll get back to that later. Quentin Coples has been. This is my second. Well, this is my first full season of having him. As I said before, last year I came into the season about week 11, so I was just kind of still figuring out the team and things like that, and what I could do. So, but yeah, Quentin Coples has definitely been a revelation for us on defense. He's got 2 sacks. He does have a touchdown, a fumble scoop and score that he had a couple of weeks ago. And his presence up front has definitely been appreciated. Again, I do run multiple defenses. I would say that my defense is more of a hybrid defense. We can play 4-3, 3-4, 2-3-5, as our base. So, I move my pieces all around. There's plays where we have more of a pass rush defensive line, and we have more of like a base defensive line in some plays. So I do like to mix it up. I do like to make sure I have keep the bodies fresh, keep our D line fresh, because we don't want to run into a team that constantly is just pounding the ball against us, and I don't have other people ready to make some plays. So I do appreciate having these guys here. Robert Quinn. He's been pretty good so far this year. Hasn't made too much noise, but he has some sacks. He's caused some fumbles with his. Actually, that's a lot. He's got 4.5 sacks on the year. I actually didn't know that. So much for me being a good GM. But yeah, he's got 4.5 sacks on the year. Right behind his boy Aaron Donald. He's forced some fumbles. He's recovered some fumbles. It just seems like with him, like when he makes a play, it comes out of nowhere. You expect Aaron Donald to make a play up front because he's a superstar, but Robert Quinn, off the edge can be, a bit of a monster at times. So my corners have been up and down this year in terms of, consistency with the picks or with the deflections, things like that. We have, made some plays and caused some turnovers on defense, but my starting 2 corners have been a little bit quiet because we have given up some big plays. I'm even going to hide that. An example of that would be against the Raiders. We gave up 2 touchdowns over 70 yards. Wasn't too proud of that. If there's one thing I hate is giving up deep touchdown passes. Those are like a pet peeve of mine. So, definitely want to get a little bit more production out of Tremaine and D. Milliner here. D. Milliner is up for a new contract. We're weighing the options of that because we have some young guys behind him that could potentially be ready, to step up. And D may have to go into free agency with the price tag that he's asking for. But As I stated before the season, D. Milliner has been, no matter what team I have in whatever league, he always seems to make some plays. He always seems to be around the ball. He's always seeming to cause fumbles. I mean, he's a big hitter as a receiver, kind of a strong guy, so I want to see how the rest of the season plays out. I think we might have to put the contract talks on hold. But if he comes up with like a 3-4 interception game, I mean, it may be worth it. I might just have to resign him because, I've worked hard to get him to where he is, and the little bit of time I've had this team, he's already bumped up from slow development to normal development after being a Pro Bowl selection last year. So, this is a wait and see project on D. Milliner. Definitely a wait and see project. This gentleman here, Shaquille Udeze, excuse me. This is his second year. He's played a lot of nickel and dime back for me. In one game, he had 2 picks. One of them went for a touchdown. So he's been, a nice sub that I can put in certain spots if I have a corner that's, maybe a little winded. Still working on him, still in development. Want to see where he is. But right now, he is starting at third corner due to the injury of my guy here, Marcus Joyner, who had an outstanding game a couple games ago against the Raiders. Excuse me. He had probably the play of the season so far with a pick right before half where it looked like the Raiders had all the momentum. We had just scored to maybe tie the game, but the offense of the Raiders was cooking, and he forced an interception right before the half, as I said, and it really just changed the dynamic of the game. The Raiders didn't score after that, and he had a big play in that. So right now he's down. He's out for 6 weeks. With the bye week coming up, that's an extra week to get some rest. So we're looking to have him ready towards the end of the season to a potential playoff push. But he is the guy. He's signed up for the next 3 years, as well as Tremaine Johnson. Which actually makes the D. Miller contract thing a little bit more touchy because I don't want to have more than 2 corners that are signed long term, especially over 25, 26 years old. So, but yeah, so we're definitely missing Marcus Joyner. So enough of the DBs. I'm sorry, not the DBs, but enough of the O-line and my starting corners. We want to talk to the guys that have been making a lot of plays behind the front wall. My linebackers, Jared Camella. Need I say more? This second-year guy at Idaho State has been. He's been all over the field for me. He's got 4 picks already this season. He's on pace to beat out his rookie stat line. He had a 3 interception game a couple games ago. I mean, dude is a ball hawk. What's funny about it, he's only a 70 overall, and there are a good amount of times where I'm not necessarily covering him, like controlling him, I should say. But no matter what, with the traits that I've given him, with the balanced ball play tendency, high motor, which I spoke about earlier, and he has the clutch gene. So he's always just in the mix, and that is something I pretty much do appreciate from him. Nothing really to note from the other guys. Alec Ogletree has kind of had a quiet year. He does have an interception, to my knowledge. He actually has 2. Excuse me. He's been steady. I'll say that Alec has been steady. I've subbed him out in certain packages, just to get some other guys some burn. I do want to kind of make sure I can, focus him, keep him in the game at some point. But he's been steady all year. Just in the mix. Nothing too fancy, but in the mix, he is still a key piece to this defense. On the outside. Chris Denton. Quick thing about him this season, he has been a little herky jerky. Was contemplating replacing him in the starting lineup. There were a couple of possessions and some key spots where he just wasn't making the play. He was getting beat a lot. I may have him in the deep zone, and the receivers were still getting behind him. wasn't wrapping up in tackles, the whole nine. And I was getting a little frustrated. I do kind of tend to have a quick leash when it comes to my defensive players. That's just how I am. Sometimes I make a play, I'm just gonna put somebody else in the game. Sometimes it can be backfire against me, but say less. I just wanted more out of him. And last game he gave that to me. He got a pick six, took it for 79 yards. And it was just a big play for us, and it kind of got him out of his slump, I should say. So looking to have at least one more good game going into the bye week with him. Again, I found him off the Cowboys practice squad last year when my safeties were pretty much my first and second string were banged up, and I needed someone to come in and start, and he did that for me. So still want to develop him a little bit more. This is only his second year. So there's definitely more time for him, but he's learning. He's pretty much learning on the job. So this is the everyday thing. TJ McDonald, this is someone else who needed to step up a little bit. He was kind of quiet all season, wasn't really making too many plays. Was getting beat in coverage a lot. Was tight ends, receivers getting behind him, the whole nine. But the last couple games, he has stepped up. Let's conclude one game where he had 2 interceptions. Actually added a couple traits for him with some XP that he had earned, and it's made a big difference in his play recently. So overall, this is my team. This is the Hollywood Rams, as you all know in the chat. We trying to do big things, man. We 7-0. We've had some really good games so far this year. Some great team efforts. There's been some games where the offense had to come through and pull it out. Some games where defense, has come through. So overall, it's been a good ride so far. We have one more game for the bye week coming up against the Chargers. I haven't played the Chargers before, so don't know what to expect. But we're just gonna play our game. That's just how I look at it. We're just gonna play our game. We're gonna make it happen the way we do. We're scoring a lot of points. We actually are third in the league in points per game at about 32.3, and we're starting to get some buzz. We're starting to get some buzz around the league. And last year, like I said, I just got the team, was trying to figure things out. We're trying to make sure that we're not out of the playoffs. We went 10-6 last year, and that wasn't good enough. So my boys got the message. 7-0 so far. Definitely with some tough games coming up. We come out the bye week, with the tough opponent, divisional opponent, the Seahawks. Me and him have had some battles so far. Right now, I think I'm 2-1 against him in the 3 games I've played. So, that's going to be a battle. That's in Seattle, so we want to see how my boys, respond up there. A couple of other division games with the 49ers and 2 games against the 49ers in 3 weeks, and then who's currently undefeated right now, the Denver Broncos. This is a game that I do have highlighted on my schedule, but we like to take it one game at a time. But that is a game I am looking forward to. And yeah, we had some good tests coming down the stretch. So we will see how things shape out. I am really excited about this team this year. I can't say that enough. My defense has just scratched and clawed, even with the kind of the holes and mishaps, we still find a way to band together and get the stops that we need when we need them. And again, I don't want to say that this is the year, but I am getting a feeling about how this team is. I'm really getting a feeling that this team could be there when it all said and done. So, but it's all about one game at a time, and our next game is the most important game, and that's the game against the San Diego Chargers. So that's the one that we're looking forward to. Appreciate you guys, checking it out. Definitely, send a like, comment, respond, whatever you feel free. Just let me know. I'm definitely still trying to get a handle on making these videos, and get a handle on what's going on in the grid. So, trying to provide you guys some good content. This is the Week 7 review. I do got one more game, the Chargers, going into the bye week. So definitely look out for a couple more of these. All right, this is your boy Tim, Hollywood Rams.